you caught me. Yeah, you caught me. I'm just fresh cracking a bottle. Because those bottles don't do you any good on your shelf, right? Nobody can enjoy them. They look pretty, don't they? Yeah. But guess what? Whiskey's made for drinking. And so that's what we're going to do today. So what we have for you today, and if I can get the dang camera angle right on it, we have, nope, I can't. Old J.H.M. Whiskey Company Special Reserve. This is their special barrel series. It's a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey finished in port barrels. Here it is, though. This is 13 years old. The proof is 143.68. This is Hazmat, what they call Hazmat. It even has the little thing on the back right there that says Hazmat. So we're going to dip into it. We're going to have a chat about Hazmat. Let's go. Fresh crack. I really got to pull that thing off. It's annoying. Oh, I just pulled it down. I'll cut it off later. It's fine. I don't like those little neck things. It's kind of... So we're going to do a small sample since this is Hazmat. So let's talk about Hazmat. I'm going to let that breathe for a little bit. And also, thank you so much, Shane, from Storytime Distilling, who gifted me this bottle. And it literally does not say anything on the back other than the government warning and distilled in Kentucky. So there's really not a whole lot of specs on it. I am going to contact Shane and ask him a couple of questions about it, and I will have all of that stuff in the description below. And I might put some of it right here, maybe. Okay, let's talk about Hazmat. Let's talk about Hazmat for a second. Okay, so we know that bourbon has to go into a barrel at no more than 125 proof, 62.5% alcohol, correct? So how do you get a Hazmat or over 140 proof whiskey out of that? Now we know from experience and from doing research that whiskey in America, especially in the United States, tends to go up in proof throughout the years, right? It tends to go up in proof. And then this is going to get nerdy, but I'm sorry. Then also the different spots of the warehouse. So this could be a mini whiskey 101 if you want to throw that out there. I am looking for other little caveat on that. I am looking for other topics on Whiskey 101 that you guys want to hear about. So let me know in the comments down below. Somebody asked me about Hazmat, and I said, hey, I got a Hazmat whiskey. Let's crack it open and let's talk about it. So that's why we're here. But here we go. So in the warehouse, in a rick house that stores the barrels, there's different tiers, right? Some of them stack 6 high. Some of them stack 10 high. There's different floors that you can put them on. It just depends upon the rick house and the people that are doing it, right? Sorry, I just did a podcast and my mic's right in the way. It was a banger. It's coming out real soon. Yeah, no shameless plugs around here, right? So in the rick house, normally, and this is not every distillery, the bottom of the warehouse is the coolest, right? Because heat rises. At the top, obviously, it's going to be the hottest. So when you get heat and high proof alcohol, what happens is the water in that alcohol, because when you make whiskey and you distill it, right? When you distill whiskey, you're not distilling 100% ethanol, which is the compound that is alcohol. You're not distilling 100%. Actually, for whiskey, you can't go over 160 or 80%. But yeah. I had to second guess my math there. You can't go over 88% to be called whiskey. Anything above that is considered what they call light whiskey. Okay. So I say all that to say this. The water in the alcohol starts to evaporate and gets absorbed into the wood and then evaporate. That is called angel share. That's what it's called. The angels take their part of the whiskey. Okay? So in different spots of the warehouse, it gets extremely hot. And there's sometimes it will, you will lose half a barrel. So let's say 53 gallons, you're going to lose 25 gallons of whiskey. Well, what it's doing is it's concentrating the flavor of the whiskey, because you're diluting, you're not diluting, you're concentrating the alcohol because the water is evaporating off. So the distillate that the whiskey that's left over back behind in there is a little more concentrated. That's why everybody goes for the high proof and the this and the that, is because it's a concentration of flavors. And this is mainly in bourbon. It's not really so much in Scotch, because they have the reverse. They can have 30-year-old Scotches that are 40% alcohol, because it gives, it's so moist there and so cool that the alcohol actually evaporates. What, man, that sucks. That's real angel share. You can give the angels water all day long. You can start giving them alcohol. That's another problem. So hazmat is just that. It's over 140. And why do they call it hazmat? Well, it's a hazardous chemical at that point, according to laws and regulations. It has to have that sticker on the back of it with the fire and there's sometimes you can't ship it across states. It has a lot of things, but it's also in the whiskey community. It's also a very sought after thing to find a hazmat. You know, Garrison Brothers, their latest edition, not the 24 but the 23, was a hazmat. There's a bunch there. I heard somebody talking the other day about in 2001, there was a Blanton's that was hazmat. You know, whatever. I don't care. I have had a couple, 2 or 3 hazmats. To me, and we're going to dip into this one, I'm excited about this one, and I'll tell you why in a second. But to me, hazmat whiskeys are just that. They're hazardous, okay? They are fiery. They are hot. They are spicy. They are very, very alcoholic. So take that for what it is. So let's get it on the nose on it, right? So this is a bourbon. Yeah, Kentucky bourbon whiskey. Finished in port barrels. So, you know, here's the thing that I'm excited with. I mean, the color on it is so stinking dark. Like but it's has a like a mahogany, like a reddish tint to it. I'm hoping that's from the port barrels. And I'm not going to be a whiskey purist about anything, because I'm not. I like whiskey for what it is. I don't care what you're doing to it. Is it cool? Is it not going to kill me? That's my main thing. I don't want it to kill me. I'm all about a good finished whiskey. Is that true to bourbon's heritage? Bourbon's heritage is crap. I'll say it. I'll be the first to say it. It's, 100 years old? You know, they had to revamp everything after Prohibition. So all of the old ways of doing things aren't there anymore. And the people, even in the past 100 years, we've screwed up over and over and over again. So I think if you can finish a whiskey and make it a good whiskey, make it a good whiskey. I don't care about the laws. I don't care that it's not legally considered a bourbon anymore because they put it in a finishing barrel. I don't care about that personally at all. I actually enjoy it. But you have to look at your audience, obviously, who you're gonna sell to. There is an audience out there that wants this. That's what they want. The legs haven't even started developing. They just now started developing. I swirled this thing, and it's just sitting there. It ain't doing nothing. There's a line of liquor up there. It hadn't even moved. It is barely slowly dripping down. That doesn't mean anything. That just means it's oily. That's all it means. It just means that it's oily. On the nose, you can't get in there deep. I'm sorry, you can't. I had to get like right there. It is so raisin, plum, caramel, vanilla, like crazy, obviously. But it's also like old books. Okay, here's a weird smelling, tasting, whatever you want to call it, note. Leather boots, like your work boots, right? Not the stinky inside, not that part, but the outside. Like when you get new leather boots, that smell. A little bit, not musty, but like a little bit sweet almost on the leather. It's weird how leather can be sweet, but you know what I'm getting at. 143.68. Whatever. Man, you can't get in there deep. You can't. Maybe you can, but I can't. It has an astringency to it. It's 13 years old, right? So it's a older gal, as your drinking buddy says. It's an older gal, but it's also really super soft at the same time. The softness. Now I'm going to do an initial taste. First whiskey of the day, so bear with me. Yeah, I started on a Hazmat. Why not? Let's go. And if you learned anything from my Whiskey 101 Part 3 video, you take it and let it go down, especially with this one. Now, it's harder to do with a Hazmat, and I'm going to take a drink. Water, of course. It's harder to do with a Hazmat because it lingers and it wants to fight you. I will tell you this, just from the initial sip, and now I'm getting that retronasal from smelling it. This is a magical pour. Magical, absolutely magical. This is, how do you like my holding it? What the hell am I doing? Anyway, this is magical. And now going back to the nose. Sorry, my mustache is growing in, and I think the little hairs are like going in my nose, and I'm just happy it's there, right? This is, oh man, it's like, you ever had a creme brulee that when they torch it, they got a little deep on the torch, right? They got a little heavy-handed with the torch. But like the creme brulee has fruit in it, like dark, like blackberry and plum, or maybe they have like a port demi-glace over the top of it or something like that. It is so like fruity, like super dark fruit, like stone fruit. Not peach, but super stone fruit, cherry, very cherry, but like dark cherries. It is so dank. I'll call it dank. Let's go in for the second sip. I let that one sit for a minute. Oak all day. There is oak all day on that. Leather, cigar, tobacco, not just cigar. It's the wet cigars that they're hand rolling. It's like that. Really dusty old books, like you're looking through an apocryphy or something like that, like super old books. Wow. You ever go into the attic at your grandparents' house? Just farting around, you go in the attic, right? And it's like super dusty, and you find this old chest, and it has like a chest, like it's a freaking magical chest. You know what I mean? You got to luck pick it to get in there. No, you find this like trunk, and you open up the trunk, and it has like all these old pictures and like all this old memorabilia from times past, right? It's that smell of old, right? The smell of old people, I guess. I don't know. No, old people don't smell like this. I guarantee you that. Some old people do. They get a little liquored up, but some old people smell like this. Don't be smelling old people. That's just weird, you know. I hope you guys are enjoying this. Like, it's fun. It's fun. I like to make fun and entertaining content. I don't want to be all about, I am fixing to do a review, which I know I probably shouldn't do it after a hazmat, but I'm fixing to do a review. And, I like reviews. I love to do a review, and I want to have as much content out there as I can. But at the same time, like, I want to do fun stuff. And I think dipping into a port finished hazmat whiskey, why not? Mm. That's some dead air. I let it sit, and it is hot. I mean, it is burning right here, and you can feel it going down. That Kentucky hug, it's a bear hug for sure. It is a big old hug. Woo! It's coming up out of my nose, man. But it's a magical pour. Magical. Absolutely fantastic. Shane, you knocked it out of the park on this one. This one is a banger. So, me being the guy I am, I'm me, whatever. I want to give away a 2-ounce sample of this to somebody in the comments. I want you to put hashtag hazmat. Hashtag hazmat. And I'll do a drawing in a couple of weeks. I'll let it go for a couple of weeks, obviously. I don't have as many followers as some of you other guys, so I have to let things go for a while. One entry, or you can do multiple. I don't care if you want to do multiple entries. The more comments I get, the better, right? I want to send this to you. I want you to try this because it is magical. It really is. It's hot. It's fiery, but it's firing on cylinders that I really enjoy. The age is coming through, but also that port finish just kind of mellows everything out and makes it really cohesive and super like dark raisin. Oh man, it's so good. So good. All right, I'm going to get out of here because I was trying to make a shorter format video. Sláinte to your health. Drink water. I made a faux pas and I didn't drink water before my next sip. It's all good. It's all good. I love you all. Thank you very much. And until next time, keep your spirit.